Hey YouTube, I wanted to bring you guys a story of 12-year-old Imani Hughes. She was missing and has been found not too long ago. It was about a couple of days ago she was found alive. Thank goodness she was found. So let me give you guys a little summary of her story. She is a 12-year-old and she went missing out of the Columbus, Texas area. She was on an app and dating app called Tagged. Now, I have never heard of this app. I don't know if you guys have been on it or heard of it. I only know of like the mainstream ones that I've heard, like Tinder. So I'm not too sure how this dating app works, but I know that all of the dating apps are to be used by people that are 18 and over. I've been hearing with a lot of stories lately that these young girls get on these dating apps. I'm not sure why they're using the dating apps. I don't know if it's kind of like how back in the days people used to use the party line and just get on there and just talk to people. I don't know if they see it as a casual thing and don't see the harms in the dating apps, and that these people that they're actually talking to, these adults, will harm them, that will manipulate them and will groom them and make them, meet them in person and then, harm them or even worse. So she was reported by her mother to have gone on a late night walk around 10:30 p.m. There was video footage of her leaving her home at around 1:30 a.m. and that's when a truck passes by and she gets into the truck. So that was what the police were looking for, is that particular truck that was in the video footage that was released. Not too long after that, she was found alive, and she was taken by Sir Terrion Preston. He is 27 years old and from Houston, Texas. When they found him, he attempted to flee the police. So he obviously knew what he did was wrong. He obviously knew that when the police found him that they were going to arrest him. He's too old to be around a 12-year-old. It doesn't matter if she lied about her age online. I'm pretty sure if she put pictures up, you could tell that she was younger than 18, especially 12. I'm pretty sure you could tell she was a 12-year-old. And once he picked her up, there's no you can't tell me that he couldn't tell that that's a 12-year-old. It's a different essence that a child has than an 18-year-old, or even an 18-year-old that looks young. You could tell the difference, especially in person. I have always been someone who looked younger than I was. When I was 18, I could have probably passed for somebody that was in middle school. So I understand that some people might look younger even though they're of age, but you could tell. You could tell who's a 12-year-old and who's an 18-year-old. It doesn't matter how they're dressed, they're lying, the makeup, the hair. You can tell, especially a 27-year-old man. I'm pretty sure he's dated, women over the years, or even when he was younger. He can tell who is of age and who's not. I'm really happy that she's found, but it's just sad that another story of a 12-year-old little girl gone missing and meeting up with an older man. What are these men thinking? Are they really thinking that they can get away with meeting an underage girl, especially so underage? I mean, this is not a 17-year-old and you're like, oh, her birthday's coming up. No. This is a 12-year-old. Like, she might have been 11 not too long ago. We don't know when her birthday is, but this is a 12-year-old. there's no excuses. These men need to be more careful, and they need to stop being predators, honestly. If we could get rid of all the predators, then we could get rid of all the other things that are going on. And now a lot of people were making commentary on the fact that where was the mother? Where are the parents? Why why did they allow their 12-year-old daughter to be on a dating app? Are the parents not keeping, you know, involvement into their kids' life, not checking the phones, not checking apps, not checking text messages, not checking the laptops? Because nowadays the kids have iPads, laptops, phones, smartwatches, and so much other things. I do think that the parents should be more investigative of what the kids are doing online or on these smartphones, because there's so many apps and so many ways that older adults could contact children, even when they're playing video games online. Some of these games, even like Roblox, you could send messages. So it might be just like a child-friendly game, but a sick adult could reach out to a kid through messages, and now your kid is vulnerable to this grown adult predator. But a lot of the times, the younger kids, they have more knowledge about the internet, more knowledge about the technology than their parents. So it could be that these kids are hiding their activity of what they're doing online on their phones or with the different apps, and the parents are just unaware. The parents are just not up to speed and don't know what the kids are doing, even when they are checking in on their devices. Another thing that people were pointing out was that the little girl went for a walk at 10:30 p.m. Everyone was like, well, most people were like, why would her parents let her go for a walk at 10:30 p.m. as a 12-year-old? Now, that's late. I'm not going to lie. That is late. Maybe if she was an older teenager, maybe a walk around the neighborhood with her friends, or a walk around the neighborhood to let her dog walk, out as an older teenager, maybe that would kind of make sense. But 10:30 p.m. is pretty late to go on a walk for any age, much less a 12-year-old. I wouldn't let my 12-year-old go out for a walk at 10:30 p.m. no matter what. I probably wouldn't even let my 12-year-old go for a walk around the neighborhood even if it was 12 p.m. in the afternoon. What is a 12-year-old walking around the neighborhood for? If anything, I would go with my 12-year-old and on the walk. That way we could just talk or just get some exercise in and, be outside. But to let my 12-year-old walk at any time, that's out the question. Maybe her parents gave her a lot of freedom. Maybe they lived in a neighborhood that they trusted. So, they allowed her to go for a walk that late. I personally think she was kind of testing the waters, her and the guy that picked her up, the predator. I think she was trying to see, okay, if I go outside, are my parents gonna think it's unusual? And then maybe the guy was going to pick her up at that time but got nervous, and maybe they wanted to wait for the parents to go to sleep and then have Imani sneak out. It could be the plan. He was in that area already, passed by, saw her, made sure she was real, and then they made a plan that he would come back at a later time, which was around 1:30 in the morning, when the mom and the dad were asleep. And most people are going to be asleep at that time, and then she could just run out the house and meet up with him later. All right, guys. If there's any other updates regarding this, I'll go ahead and give you guys a new video. If you hear any updates, go ahead and let me know. So for now, I'm glad that he's locked up, and I hope he gets sentenced to hard time, because these predators will do things and they will reoffend again. He's going to get out and talk to underage girls again. And we just need to throw the books at these predators because they cannot be stopped and they will not be stopped. I'm pretty sure this isn't the first time that he's talked to someone who is underage. We have to really speak out and look out, and the parents and community members, we need to really look out for the young girls. There's been so many stories of young girls running away, being missing, and time again, it's the girls running away to their quote unquote boyfriends that maybe their age or maybe a little older. But as we see, it's also them running away to these older men that they find online. It's really it's sad because you never know what these predators are up to. They might have a whole different plan in place for these girls than the girls actually think. We need to speak to the daughters and even the sons, all the children, and let them know that these people online could have ill intentions and not to even engage with these adults online. If they want to date or they want attention or they want to socialize, they need to do it with someone who is around their age, and have the parents be able to monitor that interaction or that dating or that relationship. That way they're not being abused or manipulated. But as far as having any interaction with older adults online, or even, people that are a couple years older, I would sway the kids from doing that because you never know. But we really need to stay away from adults online. I know the kids are young, they're impressionable, but we really need to drill into their heads that these people, these adults, don't have the best intention for them. Because what was his plan? To be with this 12-year-old, to keep her, to, make sure she went to school? What was his long-term plan? Was it just to meet her, hook up, and, I don't even want to say hook up because it's not even consensual. Was it to meet her, abuse her, and then let her go? It just doesn't make sense. But again, if there's any updates, I'll go ahead and drop another video. Bye bye.